a lot of women do have a lot of trauma from men. And, you know, if you don't want to be around men because of trauma, you know, it's understandable, but at the same time, like, do you really want to go through life?
I mean, a lot of men have trauma from women, but those women are their mothers. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot. Like, you ever see a TV show called The Sopranos? They even got Tony.
Constant, like, fear. Is that really the life that you want to live, as being constantly fearful and traumatized?
And what therapy does is it helps you to build the skills to protect yourself while getting rid of behaviors that self-sabotage your happiness. And isolation actually sabotages.
It's weird, because didn't they shit on therapy?
Your happiness a lot. People need social interaction. We're social creatures. And also, you know, it robs you of experiencing the beauty of life, right? You want to advocate for yourself rather than just hiding yourself and protecting yourself and you don't want to let the terrorists win. That's kind of the mentality I keep when I think that way.
Yeah. You don't want to let the terrorists win. That's how I feel about male violence. And this is another thing that bothers me in a lot of discussions I see on FDS and other feminist spaces, is like, when discussing male violence, a lot of women say, oh, I avoid men. I don't do this. I don't do that. I regulate every single minute of my day to protect myself from male violence. And I'm like, sis, like, that's what they want. Like, that is the whole point of male violence, is to terrorize women and to get women to self-police and self-regulate their behavior. And so I'm not, like, you know, trying to victim blame women. Like, I understand completely why they do that. And it's understandable to be fearful, but at the same time, like, by living your life that way and living in fear, constant fear of male violence, and, you know, passing up on opportunities because of a fear of male violence, you're giving violent men exactly what they want. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Don't let the terrorists win.
And men will have you hopping around in a circle in your backyard before they'll call out other men. So that's why you always have to put the focus on pushing yourself forward and your freedom forward and your liberation from men forward, and not let them successfully intimidate you into being small. There's too many countries where the solution to male violence is female captivity.
Yeah. Oh, like, male violence is a problem. Just cover your face. Just stay at home. Don't do this. Don't do that. No, like, I think we need to go out and live our best lives in spite of that. And yeah, is it dangerous? Is it scary? Absolutely. But I don't, just as a moment of, just out of spite, I don't want to let those fuckers win.
And, you know, this is the reason.
You can never let the terrorists win.
And why FDS is hated so much by men, because it ultimately.
I love FDS.
If every woman in the world, you know, followed FDS, they've even admitted that it will make their lives more difficult, and they don't want that. So,
or that they'd have to put more effort into dating, and they don't want that.
Well, they'd have to put more effort, or essentially would, you know, make their lives more difficult and inconvenient. And because they're used to having, I guess, you know, life on easy mode, the fact that they cannot get us to capitulate through their essays, through their YouTube videos, through
yeah, because you know what gets so much pussy? Essays.
You know, trying to call us, you know, femcels, single moms, everything. I think we've been called everything under the sun. Like,
yeah, we're white feminists. We're angry black women. We're, you know, bitchy hot women. We're, you know, ugly femcels. But, like, yeah.
Yeah. We're basically Schrodinger's like women at the same. You know, on the one hand we're femcels, on the other hand we're just whores who sleep with anyone. It's very bizarre. Anyway, I digress. But this is the reason why FDS it legitimately scares so many men.
They see our power. They see that we're influencing women.
They see our power. And if every woman around the world, you know, raised her standards and continue to date, they would either have to step up massively, or basically, you know, their genes will die out, essentially. That's, you know, that is what will happen. Women, you know, we have the power.
They're talking about women or men? I mean, again, yeah, I guess if every woman raised their standards on Earth and men didn't, sure, that would be very advantageous, but good luck with that.
Something that men want, and that is, I guess, our biology and our love and affection. This is why, you know, there's a reason why we see, you know, men are much more willing to pay for sex than women. There's not a booming, you know, male sex worker industry like there is the other way around.
Yeah, no matter what lib femmes try to tell you. What about male sex workers?
But even male sex workers, though, their primary customer base, if they want to make any money, is other men.
Yeah.
Is other men. They're not seeing women. Like, women don't have to pay for sex. And, you know, the fact that, you know, that alone puts a premium on our company, on our value, and men know this.
Yeah, it puts a premium monetarily.
This is why they try to tear us down through patriarchy, through beauty standards. But if you say no to that and continue to have your standards, regardless of the noise coming in, you will always win.
And this is why they're trying to have this fake equality where men and women treat each other the same, because they know that they will still, in that scenario, come out on top, because women take infinitely more risk when dealing with men than vice versa. And women have like far less reward when it comes to dealing with men than men have with dealing with women. Men get a lot of free emotional labor. Obviously, sex, even if it's not the greatest sex, at least not traumatizing, right? They don't have to do any of the reproductive labor. Most of the child rearing will be done by women. Nowadays, most women have jobs and most women are bringing in money. So pretty much it's all benefit for them for you to go 50-50.
And no drawbacks?
Very little drawbacks. Like whereas women, there are huge, massive drawbacks to the 50-50 model because it's never 50-50. Our reproductive biology excludes it from being 50-50.
Agreed.
Our reproductive biology means that men need to really step the fuck up for it to even be like 70-30.
Exactly.
Like for it to even be somewhat in the same ballpark as 50-50 is how skewed it is.
Left-wing fairy tales, right-wing fairy tales, pick your fairy tale. Left-wing terrorist even, and right-wing terrorist when it comes to intimidating women into stupid ideas, self-sabotaging ideas, pick your poison. So I wanted to move on to talk about our last segment of
Okay.
purges. What do we call these? Like people who were booted from the subreddit. That was the red femme anti-beauty standard female separatist types, which honestly sometimes are indistinguishable from some of the femcel and WGTOW rhetoric. But they come at it from a very specific radical feminist ideology that femininity is inherently a tool of oppression because it's something that men impose on women to perform for men, to be sexually appealing to men, and also to rob us of our power. And they also come at it from the idea
men profit from makeup. I don't think men were the first people to invent it, though.
that the best way to not have your power robbed or to not let men win is to just not participate in the game at all. Meaning, like, don't wear makeup, don't wear deodorant.
Nobody's forcing you to do any of this shit. Nobody's forcing guys to do any shit either.
Don't shave. Don't date. Some of them are full-on female separatist, and a lot of them are lesbians, so they literally have no use for men either.
Nice. Some of them are lesbians, so they have no use for men. Mad respect, ladies, honestly. Not to diss that. I want to say that's cool.
No, it's fine. It's just, it's more easy. It's easier for them to make the decision to just fully not engage with men. And sometimes it comes across like they're antagonistic towards heterosexual women who desire relationships with men. I have to say, it is completely unrealistic to ask the 90% of women who identify as female to stay away from dick for life. Like, you're kidding yourself.
90% of women who identify as female? I don't even understand.
And it's also completely a straw man to assign all of our oppression to things like beauty standards, because beauty standards are things that make you attractive to the opposite sex. But the work that FDS is doing is demanding more value for the beauty standards that we adhere to, meaning like men need to adhere to things that we find sexually attractive in equal measure to the things that they find sexually attractive to from us. And that's more or less the FDS way, rather than saying like everything that makes you beautiful and sexually attracted to men is a tool of the patriarchy and you should reject it altogether. And it's like, well, yeah, we do want to be attractive to the men that we want, right? We're heterosexual. We want to have sex with men that we want. And so this attitude that a lot of the radical feminist separatists have is very, very self-sabotaging to straight women, because it's like, what are you going to gain out of your life by completely eschewing anything that might make you feel physically good or feel physically sexually attractive to the opposite sex?
I do want to start out by saying, a lot of radical feminists in the aftermath of the purge were very offended to be lumped in with femcells and,
love all the infighting where it's all basically kind of the same thing, but
WGTOW types and so on. Some people were commenting saying, all the posts or comments that were talking about female separatists as being somehow related to radical feminism, a lot of comments like, oh, that's not what radical feminism is about, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing, though, is it's not a core principle of radical feminists to, I'm a radical feminist, but I'm not a female separatist, right? A lot of women who are radical feminists,
it's just exhausting.
Like Gail Dines, for example, still marry men and have children and so on, right? So it's not a, core tenet of radical feminism to be a female separatist. However, that being said, I don't appreciate the low-key kind of gaslighting that a lot of these women were going around saying, when we know for a fact that these sorts of women do exist, right? I get on Twitter, especially, I get radical feminists, coming at me. I mean, not so much on Twitter. I'd say definitely more on Reddit. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I just wanted to stop using Reddit. It was just because, how do I say it? I, don't appreciate the kind of misogyny that comes from the female separatists.
You don't like the misogyny from the women. Oh, that's fucking rich.
Almost kind of slut shaming that a lot of them give women who still date men, if I'm being totally honest.
Slut shaming just for following your biological urges. It's literal biological essentialism. You're the point at the very, basic thing is just to reproduce.
A lot of it just does seem like internalized misogyny and just attacking other women.
Well, yeah. And it just seems like they don't have a practical solution. It comes across like they're asking us to never do or be anything that might be construed as attractive
Crabs in the bucket. They're bringing everybody down with them.
to men, right? Especially, and also is kind of in denial that some women just do these things because they feel good. Like a lot of us wear makeup. Like I don't need makeup. I wear makeup sometimes and don't. But when I want to wear makeup, like I want to wear makeup. I just like the way that it looks. You know, it can be kind of a soothing ritual thing. And human beings in general have had grooming practices going back thousands of years. So this is not something.
Even just animals, like when cats groom themselves, are they doing it to appeal to a patriarchal like male gaze or something? Like no, they just want to be well groomed, right?
Yeah, exactly. Animals groom and male
I don't know about makeup and grooming, though. I don't think makeup is grooming. Makeup is different than grooming.
and